Joining us now, Philippe Reines, a State Department official under Hillary Clinton, who was part of her debate prep. We invited the Biden campaign on, but they declined to make someone available. Everyone, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they all say that this is a bad night. But was it for the president at the debate? Wasn't it more than that? Because this may have convinced wavering voters that he's frail, confused, and not up to another 4 years.
Look, I have eyes. On the right side of the screen, I saw a good president who had an absolutely terrible debate. Full stop. I'm not going to defend it. But I also have ears. And on the left, I was watching a terrible ex-president with terrible answers, basically telling us that he's going to do terrible things to America. And look, this is a choice. And it seems no matter what happens, Donald Trump is the opposition. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of people watching are going to light up my Twitter for saying this. But Donald Trump did a lot of bad things to America. They weren't for America. They were for himself. But more importantly, think about where he left office. He left office on two low notes. One was basically denying an election that we all know, that everyone knows he lost. Second, he all but gave Uber rides to, thousands of people who wanted to attack. Now,
January 6th.
January 6th.
And that came up in the debate.
It came up in the debate, but you know what? He needs to be pressed further about whether he's pardoning all these people. But the thing is that the idea that he's just going to be a repeat of the first 4 years is really naive. If he wins again, he's going to pick up where he left off. And this isn't going to be watching a scary movie a second time where you know when the monster jumps out. Yeah. This is going to be a horror sequel. And for people to not realize that is real. I would take Joe Biden in any condition.
Well,
saying anything.
As a longtime Democrat, I'm not surprised to hear you say that. But when you have The Atlantic and these liberal New York Times columnists, Tom Friedman and others, are professing their undying love, but saying, New York Times editorial board, Biden should step aside. What impact does that have on a candidate?
I don't know. I mean, as an aside, in terms of media buzz, I think this is a great opportunity to say, not all media is constantly giving Joe Biden a pass. I mean, they are being harder on him than anyone. I think Joe Biden knows what's going on with Joe Biden better than anyone. We saw him the next day. He knows he did terribly. He knows it was a terrible night. These guys, this is simple. On age, they are both 80. At least Joe Biden has spent 50 of those 80 years doing some good for America. Their mental health, bring on the tests, including an IQ. Their physical health, I'm sorry, for the last 7 years, and here I'm also going to take a smack at the mainstream media that some would call the liberal media. For 2 of the 7 years while he's running for president, he's given a total pass. He's literally forging doctor's notes like it's 5th grade. These notes say Donald Trump tested positive on everything. You're not supposed to test positive on every test when you go to the doctor. He lies about the severity of his COVID. His doctor admitted that he lied about it. He just goes to golf and then runs to Walter Reed Hospital because he has some extra time.
All right, clearly you are focusing your comments on the alternative to Joe Biden.
But the media has allowed, by giving him a pass on that, the media has allowed this conversation, which is an important conversation. I'm not saying that what we saw the other night isn't something to delve into, but it's happening in a vacuum, as if he is some kind of specimen when he is not.
Well, I don't think you can argue that the media have been easy on Donald Trump. I think all of the investigations, some of which turned out not to be warranted, some of which revealed things that, he gets this negative barrage. Now, do you think, because I often have criticized Joe Biden for, sort of walling himself off from the press or having that done by his inner circle, that the reason for that was fear, concern that we might have seen something close to that?
I can't understand the logic for this. If the idea is that this has been known and a concern, and therefore why he's not doing Super Bowl interviews or other interviews.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
But then why would you decide to roll it out for 75 million people in a debate? It's inconsistent. If you were not letting someone out because you didn't like how they appeared, you wouldn't send them out for the biggest night of their entire life. You'd say, we're not going to debate. I'm not getting on the stage with that guy. There's a reason why Joe Biden...
Some people think it would have been better for the president. Well, he wanted this debate.
Joe Biden wanted to debate. He wants to debate because he knows that when there's a contrast, and when he gets to talk about what he did and what the other guy did and what Joe Biden wants to do and the other guy wants to do, that he's going to do better. Look, there's another debate. Look, again, I would take Joe Biden on a gurney over Donald Trump, the same way that a lot of viewers would take Donald Trump on a gurney over Joe
right.
Biden.
He does obviously have his appeal, and he won all
Yeah.
of his primaries. All right, you famously played Donald Trump
did.
in debate prep for Hillary 2016. Let's take a look. What were you trying to accomplish?
Well, that was just a light moment. I think what's on the screen now is a better moment where we literally anticipated that Donald Trump would probably try to menace her because he's 6'3" and she's 5'6" and probably
You
heels.
look pretty menacing.
You know what? The key is to just have your chin up and your arms just sort of hanging by your side. But, you know, jokes aside, these debates are tough. I would be happy for Joe Biden to get another shot at it. He has to decide whether he wants another shot at it.
Okay.
But you know what? If people don't like their choice, the Republican convention hasn't happened
Gotta
yet.
go.
Let's, switch the Republican nominee.
All right. We'll be right back.